Welcome to the Rick Dollar Show podcast. Here's a guy who thought those voices in his head sounded familiar. Your host, Rick Dollar.
Hey guys, a few weeks ago, I caught up with my old buddy, Duane Hess. Duane is part of Banjo Brothers Podcast, which will be appearing on Radio Dog's podcast network in 2027. And this is how that went. Rick Dollar for the Rick Dollar Show. Hope everybody's having a good July 4th weekend. And of course, my guest today is Mr. Duane Hess of the Banjo Brothers Podcast, which we're proud to announce are going to be on the Radio Dog Podcast Network. Duane, how are you, brother?
I am doing good, my friend. How are you? And first off, thanks for having us on the Radio Dogs Podcast Network. We are so excited.
Man. We're honored. You know, we need good content, and we want people to be able to for everything to be synonymous together. I mean, it has to be the Radio Dog Podcast Network, Hopeless Holler Trading Company, Randy Wood Guitars, Banjo Brothers Podcast, the Hometown Bluegrass Podcast with Tim Batts and Josh Williams, and the Bluegrass Blonde Podcast, which is going through the roof too, by the way.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, success is coming around. So hopefully we can keep everybody in good podcast content. That's our thing.
And I'm just thankful you don't have to be smart to do it, or I'd be
Dude, if you had to be smart to do it, I would have years ago. I would have turned the camera off, man. And I'm thinking about doing it right now. Just sitting here.
So there is hope for us normal people.
Yeah. The good thing about everything is you and I have a radio background and are still. I mean, I still have the Rick Dollar Show. It's we're in our 6th season. And you've been on how long?
Oh Lord, since I think dirt was new. So I started in 1982 in radio at WYSO 91.3 FM in Yellow Springs, Ohio, where I started in radio back in 1982, and done it there for many years, and then done some freelance work at other radio stations around the Ohio Valley. And then I got out of it for a few years, and then 97 or 98 went back to WYSO for a brief period, and then moved to Kentucky. And then I've been doing radio online since then.
God's country, Kentucky.
Amen.
You know that story, don't you, about me and my brother figuring out that we were growing up, and my dad always told us a story about my great grandfather that he had a little incident, and then he went to North Carolina for a while, and we never knew the whole story. So my brother and I did this 23andMe thing. And, of course, that's a DNA profile of all your relatives across the country, world, and everything. So anyway, we found out that we were from Van Lear, Kentucky, and our actual last names were Dollarhide. I don't know if you've seen Coal Miner's Daughter.
Yep.
Okay.
Over from Loretta's country.
Yeah, exactly. And, Lee Dollarhide was like the local moonshiner, which, really answers a lot of questions for me. But anyway, that being said, we made a trek over there, saw the family cemetery, talked to one of our last remaining relatives who had stage 4 throat cancer. And and it was an honor to sit down on this guy's porch and just talk to him for a little while. But he explained all of our relatives to us, and it was a really good week for us to do that. But it's amazing when you find out who your relatives really are. But we had no idea that we were from Van Lear. So
that's awesome.
I know.
And I mean, that's so far back up in the woods, your breath smells like wood.
Oh my God. And actually, Lee Dollarhide had been in the local jail cell, and we go in there, and I just walk into this jail cell, and then I look, and I sit down, and my brother slams the door. Ka-dunk. And I'm like, you got about 30 seconds to get me out of this place because I don't want to be here. But, the thing was we actually got to experience some family members that we never knew we had. So that was a cool
awesome.
thing. Yeah.
That's awesome. And things like that, with that 23andMe is really, really brought a lot of families together as well.
It has. It has. Awesome. It has. And those guys, the Dollar Hide family just opened their arms up and said, "Hey, your family." So it was pretty cool. It was
welcome home.
Yeah, exactly. And that was it, But let's talk about Duane Hess. And I mean, you're a radio guy like me, so you and I have plenty to talk about as far as that goes. But you're also part of the Hopeless Holler Trading Company
absolutely
family here at what we're doing. And these guys are tremendously good. They have set up such a good deal for performers, media people. It's just ridiculous how Lisa and Nathan Truitt have done so many great things for us. And
absolutely,
we're really appreciative. Yeah.
And such wonderful people to work with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so accommodating. They want to hear your ideas. They want to hear what you've got in your mind, and they work their best to make those ideas come to life. And
yeah,
that's hard to find.
Yeah, it is. It is. Most people like that are handling your merch want to control everything. They don't care about your ideas. They say, "Oh, this is what I'm seeing," and like you're saying, it's a big thing when you have somebody that wants to work with you instead of,
again, you
put their ideas out on you. But tell me about
the quality of their merchandise is just it's top notch.
Oh man, it's tremendous. I mean, these guys they're out there working for us. They want to make us happy too,
Absolutely.
Tell me about the Banjo Brothers Podcast. Let everybody know about that, okay?
Well, the Banjo Brothers Podcast, we're really excited. It's myself, and then everybody knows Tony Mabe of Red Camel Collective.
Yep.
Tony and I are dear friends and have been for many years. And we spend hours talking to each other on the phone about banjos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're the true definition of banjo geeks.
Yeah, banjos. That's kind of a sickness. I think there's an inoculation for that.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't want it. But and we talk about banjos. We talk about bluegrass music, where we've both been in bluegrass music. I've been in bluegrass music since I guess 44 years now.
Wow.
And so we talk about that, stories on the road, and we spend hours on the phone every week, just talking. And I got the idea. I said, Tony, why don't we just start a podcast?
Exactly.
And because the stories are interesting to us, so in our minds they got to be interesting to everybody.
Exactly.
And so we did. We put this thing together, and we're doing something a little bit different maybe than some of the others. Of course, we want to talk about the big artists of the day, and we want to talk to them, and we want to talk to the legends as well.
Right.
But we also want to talk up to the people behind the scenes that might not get enough recognition that keeps the whole machine running.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm talking about songwriters, producers, engineers, luthiers, sound technicians, people like that, that help keep it festival promoters, the people behind the scene that without them, us as artists couldn't do what we do.
That's right. That's right. And, it's hard to find somebody like, somebody in the podcast industry that wants to talk to people like that. But those are the most interesting people sometimes. I mean, a lot of bluegrass artists and Americana artists or whoever you talk to, they have PR people behind them that are pushing them, and they say, okay, talk about this, make sure you say this, make sure that, you're wearing this clothing and blah, blah, blah. But, guys like Elijah Doty, he's out there, man. He's a sound guy. He's one of the best in the country.
There's a place tucked away in the mountains where time slows down just enough for you to catch your breath. And that place is Marion, Virginia. Known as America's coolest hometown, Marion blends rich Appalachian heritage with a fresh, vibrant energy that you can feel the moment you arrive. Stroll historic Main Street. Take in a live show at the beautifully restored Lincoln Theater, or explore great outdoors along the scenic Hungry Mother Park, where the views are so unforgettable. Whether you're chasing live music, small town charm, or a weekend escape that feels like home, Marion delivers it all with a handshake and a smile. So pack up, head for the hills, and discover why folks don't just visit Marion. They come back again and again. Plan your trip today and experience Marion, Virginia, where the mountains meet the music.
And he works for everybody. But this dude is one of the most interesting fellows you'd ever talk to. I talked to him at a festival, I don't know, a couple years ago. And he was like, "Hey man, we actually are getting to stand and talk to each other." And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of weird because that's, not the way the world works these days." But he's one of these guys that, I could say, well, how do you do it with this kind of vocal and that guy over here playing the banjo and blah, blah, blah? How do you mix all that together to make it sound good? And, they all have their little secrets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're right. And the people behind the scenes have got the best stories.
Mm-hmm.
So they've seen so much more. Even, we even want to talk to bus drivers.
Man, you better and they've all signed an NDA.
I better find a bleep button somewhere, I think. But seriously though, we want to talk to the people behind the scenes because they're just as big a part of it as the people who's out in front doing the actual performing. And of course, don't get me wrong, the artists and the legends are absolutely instrumental and up front because that's what draws the people to continue to come into the bluegrass music. Mm-hmm. But there's more to the story than just that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I helped, we did something with, Appalachian Roadshow when they first put the show together, that group together, this configuration. And, it was in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And, so we played the holler at, where was it? Just at the top of the hill in Gatlinburg. There's like 2 or 3 different places that you can go to hear great music there. And, the weird thing was I got to help them load the equipment. And, I was happy to do that. And, me and Darrell Webb and, Barry Abernathy and a couple of us, we were just talking as we were carrying stuff. And, it was just a different kind of conversation, the regular people showed up. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
And Van Cleve was there and he was, he's got about 1,000 stories right there through Mountain Heart and everybody else he's been with over his career. But, you're right. Anytime you can get one of these guys to start talking, man, you get some stories. No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
There's one Abernathy story about, he was driving Dolly Parton's bus. I know. And you know where I'm going with this. I think I told you this story. But
it's great.
We're not gonna divulge everything that we heard. But it was amazing. It was funny. I just called him to ask him about something, and he had to put his headset on because he was driving her bus. And then some other things transpired, and I was like, "Holy crap, dude! How do you do this?"
Exactly. And Tony Mabe, he played for the Easter Brothers for several years as well.
Oh man!
And he's got some wonderful Easter Brothers stories that we can actually tell.
Okay.
that we're going to have on the podcast too, and some you don't want to miss these because
no.
That they will split your sides. They're so funny.
I'm telling you, dude. It's just that, but the behind the scenes stuff, like I said, that's gold. And I'm glad to find out that you guys are looking more into that part of things. And it means a lot, I'm sure, to listeners, radio listeners, podcast listeners. if they hear these stories. There's some funny ones out there.
Exactly. And it's the people that's made our life better over the years. You know what I mean? Why not bring them into the light as well? Because they're well deserving.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a bluegrass festival where the sound guy was I don't know how to say this, musically challenged?
Have I ever? A lot.
Yeah, me too.
I've even been to the point to where I have I've gone off the stage and went out to the soundboard, adjusted it myself, and then went back up on the stage and finished the song.
Exactly. Gosh, I know, dude. And it's not their fault. It may be like the first time behind the board. And
a lot of times, especially these small festivals,
mm-hmm.
hey, they know a guy who's got a board and 8 microphones, so we'll just get him to do the sound. And I mean, it's just the way it is. It happens, and it's painful at times.
It is.
I've done shows to where the sound has gone out completely. They couldn't figure out why, so we just got off the stage and went in the crowd and finished the show. And come to find out, somebody just unplugged it, and they couldn't figure out what was going on.
But you know what? That's the way it works sometimes, and it's happened in bigger shows, not just bluegrass festivals. I've seen, rock shows, and you're thinking, wow, I bet that's a great guitar solo, but if I can't hear it,
Exactly. And that's the neat thing about bluegrass is you don't have to have the amps and stuff. You can go out into the crowd and finish your show.
Yeah, it's just like an old time.
I prefer that.
Well, it's just like an old time jam. Then at that point, it's like being in the parking lot after the show. I've talked about Slagle's pasture that was near where I lived growing up as a boy in Unicoi County, and man, it was a great festival. The first time I ever saw the big sign as I was driving by when I was a kid with my grandfather. I've told this one before too. It said, this week, Slagle's Pasture Bluegrass Festival, Ralph Stanley and Dole Lawson and Quicksilver. And I thought, who's that? I didn't have any idea. But when my grandfather introduced me to this music, dude, it was done. It was over. I knew I loved it, but I didn't know what to do with that love, And then I thought, well, hey, I could do a radio show or a podcast and see how that works. So,
yeah.
And here we are.
and you've been successful, So
well, thank you. I appreciate that. We don't always, I guess, creative people don't always look at things in that light.
No, not at all. You're exactly right.
I want to be. It's really cool for somebody to say what you just did, and I appreciate you saying that. But it's always unexpected. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. And I'll give you a good example. Red Camel Collective just played the Opry. Back in February for the first time, and Tony was scared to death. Yeah. Which you should be. You should be.
Sure.
But what he's more worried about is not the success that they've had. I mean, look at how long they spent number one on the bluegrass charts and all this. He's worried about, well, I'm just afraid someday people ain't going to like what we're doing.
Well, I mean, it's possible, it's always possible that things could change and we can somehow still be looking at it the way we're looking at it today. And that's why I think guys like us need to stay just hooked up to what everybody else is seeing, listening, and liking.
Mm-hmm. And the thing I admire about that is that he's got the drive to continue to do better and better and better.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people when they hit that level, they're like, okay, well, we'll just sit here and cruise.
Yeah.
Because it's working. But I really respect, especially Tony's attitude. Well, it's not good enough. I need to keep getting better, and that's what I see you do as well with the Rick Dollar Show. I mean, you're constantly striving to get better and get better without even realizing that you're doing it.
Holler Trading Company, where one style fits all.
Yeah, I guess. I was always so used to having a station owner, radio station owner or somebody, just beating on the door during during your set. And, I told you that story too about, Bill Clinton, and that's one we can't tell right now. But things can happen, but people can be put in your path to help you be that way. And it's not fear, but I think it's a drive.
Yeah, I was going to say determination, drive.
Exactly. Everybody should have that, though, that's in this industry. And hopefully everybody that we have on, Radio Dog Podcast Network, they'll be that same way. I would love for them to be that way. Everybody that we ask to come onto this network has that ability. And if they have that ability, I hope they use it, because you can be very successful. I'm going to try to include the marketing, and, kind of piggyback on top of each other. We want to do just as good as the Banjo Brothers podcast. What Jet Point Dexter's doing at the Bluegrass Blonde and Tim Batts and those guys, we want to do just as good as they do. And we want them to strive to do just as good as we do. And I think if we do that, we're all going to be successful.
Amen. I agree with you 100%. And that's the beautiful thing about bluegrass music. It's been this way the 44 years that I've been in it is we help each other out.
Exactly.
We promote each other. We pick each other up when we're down. We encourage each other. And it doesn't matter what level of the business you are. We've always done that.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that I am really excited is working together with Tim and Josh and Jet and whoever else you might bring on as well, and yourself. And how do we make this the best we can possibly make it?
Exactly. And, I think that the music itself, bluegrass deserves this.
Absolutely.
Because it's still getting changed. I mean, Billy Strings just released a new single. He's got his 5th album coming out the 28th of August. And I've gotten a kind of a sneak peek about a couple of those songs. And, I've heard radio guys, and it just, tears me apart when I hear a radio guy come down on an artist. Oh, I don't know, this is pretty dark and blah, blah, blah. And, it's not. Get used to it. The music is morphing and changing, and it has been ever since I'm 10 years old, and I've heard it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying how old I am now, because I'm pretty old. But, the thing is, it's just like you are understanding what I'm saying here. I think everybody else out there is too, that likes this music. But it is true that this music will change. Artists will change. Artists will grow, and they will get better, and they will go in different directions. And I see this happening with Billy Strings. He's, just because he makes a little snafu with a skateboard doesn't mean that he can't put out a damn good record. And
absolutely,
this one's going to be one of them. So if you haven't heard it, or it's whatever's that new single's out on Spotify right now, but it was our hot shot of the week this week, because it's changing, and his music's changing. He's changing. He had to go through his mom passing away and all this other stuff. And if I was in that situation now and I was a songwriter, you'd be hearing about it, because that's just what it is.
Absolutely. And like it or not, the music has to change.
Yeah.
The artists have to change. It has to morph into something just a little bit different.
Exactly.
In order for it to stay around.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love the Stanley Brothers as good as anybody.
Oh, I do too.
I just soon listen to Ralph and Carter sing is eat,
yeah.
because I've seen them eat. but no, I just soon listen to Ralph and Carter as anybody. But
Yeah.
I also understand that without people like Billy Strings and these newer artists coming out, the music ain't going to be around unless we can keep it fresh.
Mm-hmm. That's true, and that's a great opinion. A lot of people are going to have different opinions, and hey, that's what podcasting is all about, is getting that separate opinion there. But by the way, this is my my podcast, and I gave my 2 cents. So hey, you never know. There's a lot of people out there that got different opinions, and I just invite them to come on the podcast and we'll discuss it.
Exactly, and that's all you can do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I invite people on the podcast to discuss it with me and Tony. Not saying you're going to change your mind, but let's discuss it.
Yeah.
At least
Let's throw it out there, man, and let these people, that watch and listen, let them understand, and hey, that it is different, and things are different, and they're changing. But
absolutely, I tell you, I'm really excited about the buzz that's going around about Tony and I starting this podcast.
oh yeah, no, it was the first week that we announced that you guys were coming on there, and Bluegrass Today got a hold of it, and then everybody else got a hold of it, and it's been pretty cool.
Wow. It is,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to say who we have lined up yet, because we want to keep that a secret.
There
But
you go.
we want to let the cat out of the bag just a little bit at a time. But the artists that we've got lined up already, absolutely, it is not even. I said, hey, I'm starting a podcast with Tony May. Would you like? Absolutely, I'll be on it. Absolutely, I'll be on. I've not had one person say, I don't know. It was all absolutely, would love to do it.
That's
and,
right.
And the messages that I'm getting and the buzz is just, the excitement it's overwhelming almost.
Yeah, it is. It is. I've watched it. I like watching things like that from afar and just see what I'm seeing. And it's unreal. I mean, I can't wait to see the first episode, man. So do you have any idea who you can have on the first episode, or can you tell me?
Well, the very first episode's going to be just me and Tony.
Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah.
Okay. Let people know who we are, what we're about, and just how big of an idiot we actually are. And I can tell you the second episode is going to be Heather Barry Mabe.
Oh, yeah.
And probably Jonathan Dillon with her.
Yeah. God, I love Heather. I mean, I have interviewed her. I've gotten to 2 or 3 times, I guess, over the years, but she has the sweetest spirit about her. And
it's genuine.
Exactly. And it matches her ability to sing. It's just amazing to me how she
I just absolutely love her and Tony to death. Some of my dearest friends in the world would do anything in the world for them, and they would me. And I mean, that's a hard friendship to find.
Yes, it is. It is.
And I can tell you who the second guest is going to be.
Okay.
And that's you.
Oh, okay. Have you scheduled
that
yet?
I figure you're just a phone call away. But
exactly.
But after that, we're not letting the cat out of the bag, because there's some big ones.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. And it's the podcasting industry is crazy like that sometimes, because you don't know what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. So who
Absolutely.
knows?
I don't want to announce it now, and then all of a sudden they say, "Well, I won't be able to do it because of this or that or the other," and then
we're busy.
Yeah, and some of them that we have talked to that has committed are the type that are extremely busy.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we don't put something out there that's not going to happen 100% for sure.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It can go south on you real quick. I've had to learn that lesson before. Well, I'm really glad that you're on the show, man, and you're kind of giving everybody a little taste of what they're going to be able to expect on you guys' podcast. And I'm just really I'm jacked to see how you guys work together with each other, because different personalities work differently together. But I think you guys knowing each other so well is probably going to be such a benefit,
Yeah, and Tony and I, we never struggle for stuff to talk about.
Hey, if you love real music played by real musicians, it's time you experience a night at Randy Wood's Old Time Pickin' Parlor in Bloomingdale, Georgia. This legendary listening room is where world-class pickers, bluegrass greats, Americana artists, singer-songwriters, and roots musicians take the stage to play the music the way it was meant to be heard, up close, personal, and full of soul. No big arena distractions here, just great sound, great people, and unforgettable live performances in one of the most respected acoustic venues anywhere. Whether it's blazing banjo, sweet harmonies, or a hot fiddle tune that gets your heart going, you'll find it on stage at Randy Wood's. Make plans now to catch an upcoming show. Bring some friends and be part of the music tradition that keeps on living. Randy Wood's Old Time Pickin' Parlor, Bloomingdale, Georgia, where the music never gets old. Check upcoming performances and ticket info online, and we'll see you at the Pickin' Parlor.
One of the segments that we're going to have that I want to let everybody know about is we're going to have a segment called Tips and Licks, where Tony and myself are going to give tips, banjo tips.
Yeah.
We're going to show a banjo lick each week.
Wow.
That people can add to the repertoire. And the really neat thing is too, and everybody knows it out there now, Tony's totally blind.
Yeah.
And I've got a rare genetic eye disorder where I'm losing my central vision.
What?
Yeah. And so it's okay. It
Oh
could be
my
worse. I'm not going to go totally blind, but I don't play past the 5th fret much anymore because I can't see it. But thankfully, Balcom said there ain't no money past the 5th fret anyway.
You know what? At least you have a sense of humor about this, but I would probably not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at least it ain't my hearing.
Yeah, that'd be worse.
Yeah, but we can use this podcast as a way to let other people know just because you have a disability.
Yeah.
You don't have to quit.
No.
And that's one of the main messages that we want to get. We're not going to talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
We want people to see because, by what we do, you don't have to quit just because you have a disability. Keep right on trucking. Don't let that slow you down because you can do it. Tony probably plays banjo better now since he's gone totally blind than he did when he could see.
Man, I know he can. I mean, I didn't know Tony before the fact, but holy crap. Now, I mean, he just wears it out. It's not a big deal to him. It's like his love, other than Heather.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't understand how people can do that sometimes, but man, he just wears it out.
Yeah. And it's just, that's totally playing by ear. That's for sure.
Gosh, that just shocks me that you're having the same situation come up.
Yeah, well, so we're using it as an educational thing, and like I say, I'm not going to go totally blind. I'll still be able to see to get around. I have a hard time. I can't read small print. I can't drive. I'm not driven in several years, and things like that. But I'm not letting it slow me down. The good Lord's given me a gift and has tasked me to use it, and that's what we're going to do.
Man, that's amazing. I mean, I'm just honored for us to be a part of this now that I know this. I mean, I feel like it's something that we all can, we all have these things that go on in life, but you guys have some challenges.
I say this all the time.
Yeah.
There's 3 types of people that you meet in this world.
Mm-hmm.
There's people going into a storm.
Mm-hmm.
There's people in the middle of a storm, and there's people coming out of a storm.
Wow.
That's it. So it's how you deal with those storms and then how you handle coming out of it on the other side that matters. Everybody's going through storms, so it doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter, but what you do with that once you come through it is what matters. And that's the reason I didn't tell you about this much up front, and I really didn't even expect to talk about it today. It just come up, but I didn't want you to have us on the network because of that, I wanted you to have us on the network because of what I think we can bring to it. And this is just, in my opinion, a benefit to be able to help people.
Man, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, you've said it all right there. And as long as you guys, this is just me seeing, as long as you guys take that and use it to help people, I think is the whole total. Yeah. If you can do that, man, you're welcome on this network anytime, because we do want to do good things. We want to be entertaining, but we also want to have a lesson here and there that people will see. And, some different people bring different things to the table when you interview them, this being in radio for as long as you've been. But it's just a good thing to know that you guys are thinking the same way I am. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you having the same opinion, because that's what's going to make it grow, is being honest and open and transparent.
Exactly.
And let people know that everybody goes through things.
Yeah.
That's just part of being human. Nobody said it was easy, and, but how you deal with that and what you do with it, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
And
every day is tough in life. Just even not having the challenges that you're speaking about. I mean, we got challenges every day, man, just waking up. And, sometimes I don't want to wake up. Sometimes I just want to go back to sleep. But we can't do that. We got things we got to do. So,
and I tell you how impressed I am with Tony. Him totally blind. I've seen him tear a banjo completely apart, put it back together, and it played.
What?
Yeah. He still changes his own banjo and get banjo strings and guitar strings and so he's not letting it slow him down any. So why should I?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't see how else I can, man, I can't compliment anything that what you just said right there. You've done it. I mean, I've been at Randy Wood's when he's doing stuff to guitars and banjos, and I'm sitting on a stool across the room going, how is he doing this? And how does he know how to do this? So it's hard enough doing it when you can see, totally, when you have all of your vision. You guys are both going to have a challenge, but I see where it's going to be a good thing. I hate to say that.
Well, no.
Like you're saying, sometimes these things come to us for a reason. So.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And we've both been a huge inspiration to each other. I mean, we've been going through this the whole time together. So, Tony and I were back friends even when he could see. So, we've been going through this whole thing together. So, we're looking forward to bringing the podcast to the people and letting them know, like I said, just because you're disabled, you don't have to give up. You can still do it. But mainly to share our love for the music, for the people in the music, and just tell some great stories.
Exactly. That's what it's all about, man. Well, that's all I can tell you right now. Duane has laid it out there. So you guys need to watch the Banjo Brothers podcast when it comes out. Of course,
they need to watch it because we can't.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. I'm glad you did that joke because I was going to.
If you can't laugh, I mean, my wife says all the time, people's funnier than anybody.
That's exactly right. Well, man, Duane, it's been good having you on the show this week, man. Looking forward to you guys joining the network and everything. I'm just totally shocked at how good this is going to be.
Thanks for hanging with us for this week's episode of the Rick Dollar Show podcast. Don't forget to visit all of our partners who make the show possible every week. Be sure to head over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts to leave us a review or a comment to win some cool merchandise from Hopeless Holler Trading Company. And now, here's some credits. See ya!
This has been the Rick Dollar Show podcast. The Rick Dollar Show podcast is produced by Radio Dog Productions. Theme music is written and performed by Jeremy Garrett at garrettgrass.com. The Rick Dollar Show podcast cannot be reproduced or rebroadcast without express written consent from Radio Dog Productions. I'm Kent Jones, and this has been a Radio Dog production.